Emerging India Forum TIF, Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, India Business Group IBG, Indian Chamber of International Business ICIB, and Prime Infotech Solution. Today's theme is corporate compliance, a simple definition. I am Jolly Singh, associate with Prime Infotech Solution, and today I am going to have the wonderful conversation with Pulak Banerjee. Pulak Banerjee has a rich experience of 27 years in corporate legal, secretarial, and compliance function, having worked with reputed listed manufacturing public companies. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Sir, so format is that we first cover your professional journey, then we come to the personal journey, and then we finish this entire conversation with a fun rapid fire round. This is how our entire conversation will be going on. So let's start with the first round, which is the professional journey questions. And my very first question to you would be that with the 27 years of experience in corporate legal, secretarial, and compliance functions, what inspired you to specialize in corporate laws? What has been has been any pivotal moment or experience that has shaped your career in this field?
See, per se, my profession, which I basically am into, I'm practicing. I've been qualified company secretary and a lawyer. So I have taken up this profession only with an intent to join and also associate myself with a corporate world. And my interest from the beginning has been that I will be into legal and the company secretarial line of function. Basically it's basically that communication is one part of it, and then the drafting is another part of my profession, and then doing the deal for various corporate day-to-day existence of every organization which we are associated with. So that is how it has been. And a challenge which basically has been from the beginning is to work with a company. And my foray, which started, was with a listed company. And I have been continuing my journey with various listed companies which I have associated. So that is how. And then over a period of time, I have developed my various skills of legal, corporate legal functioning, which basically takes care of all the legislations of the companies which we are working with. So that's it. That is how it translates my working and experience for all these 27 years which I have had.
So what are some of the common compliance issues that companies face, and how do you assist them in ensuring adherence to regulatory requirements?
See, as far as the profession goes, the company secretary profession goes, that is how we are always tightly engrossed with our day-to-day functioning of keeping records, compliances for the corporate aspect of this company's existence, apart from the other part of the legal, corporate legal functioning. The point is here, company secretarial functioning, as you know very well, they are taking care of the meetings. Board of directors are their main body, which a company secretary has to, address and also keep in touch in terms of the decisions which are to be taken by the company on a day-to-day basis, and also certain decisions which are required for the shareholders, the stakeholders of the company. So the that's how we take care of. We have got a SOP kind of thing. It's a checklist which we have to follow to take care of our daily addressing our functions which we are doing for the company, its stakeholders, and all the other people who are basically attached with the company. So the board, the stakeholders, and the public at large. That's how the company, for its existence, has to, comply with for its compliances in terms of that. So we basically have stock exchanges, we have which we are now have to address in terms of reporting for the stakeholders and the public at large. And then we have record keeping. Then we have certain filings which we have to do for the companies which are listed as well as unlisted companies. They have to file their papers with the register of companies for their updating the companies, which will be accessed by the people at large for knowing which is this company and whether. And then for the government, they have to keep a tab of the functioning of the company, including the bodies which, in addition to the stock exchange register of companies, there are other bodies also which are required for us to comply with. Filing returns, like inspectors of factories, as far as labor is concerned. Then we have legal metrologies. Then we have various other bodies which we have to do. So there is a host of compliances which the company has to do, which we have to take care through our team. That's all what is summarized there.
So what are some of the critical factors that contribute to the successful ventures and collaborations in the corporate world?
Can you come back again? The question.
Yes, sir.
Which you can...
So my question is that what are some of the critical factors that contribute to the joint ventures and collaborations that happen in the corporate world between the companies?
The most crucial part of any joint venture, the existence of a joint venture to succeed, is
yes.
The percentage of the holdings of the two ventures, which basically is the main core issue, because that is how the decisions will have to be taken by the entity, which is the joint venture, which has to take the decisions, which always will have the impact of the constitution of the body, which is the board of directors, constitution of that. So basically the shareholding pattern and the restructuring of the board. When I say that, there is one major document, which is the memorandum and articles of association of the company, which is the main document which forms part of the shareholders agreement of a joint venture, or such other arrangement which is the nexus of the arrangement which has been entered by the two joint venture entities. So that is the most critical part of the functioning of a joint venture going forward.
Sir, you have worked throughout 27 years of experience. You have worked with a number of listed public companies. So can you share a particular highlighted case of your life that you have dealt with as of till the date? There has been some situation or a case which you think that, yeah, this is worth mentioning when I talk about my journey to anybody?
No, actually there are so many events which would have happened which is basically actually knitted to our job. So basically, it's not one. So many things which have happened, like in the early part of my career, we were dealing with the companies working which were on those maintaining of manual records. Listing of the shares were done through stock exchange by filing the papers, physical filing. I'm talking about the 1990 era, 1990s era, when 1990s and prior to 1990s, when we used to deal with all the physical share certificates and all those areas. So possibly there were many of these challenges which I have faced. One will be the challenge which we used to face was the listing of the shares with the stock exchanges earlier. So it used to be a challenge because we had to run out. Those days the IPO was typically a different ball game compared to today's world. So we had to comply with so many things. We have to give the completion certificate of all whatever is a requirement from the now SEBI came to this era of this listing and all in 1992. Prior to that, there used to be controller of capital issues, which used to be the body which used to control the all these IPOs and all used to happen through the controller of capital issues in Delhi. That till about 1992. After 1992, there was Securities and Exchange Board of India came into play. So they have now. So we used to submit all those papers and documents to ensure that the companies submitted everything before we actually. And those days, the stock exchanges were all regional stock exchanges, not only Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange today. Those days, there used to be regional stock exchanges, Delhi, Calcutta, Ahmedabad stock exchanges, Madras, Chennai exchange. So all those things. So everything we used to do it physically. We have to deliver the papers to ensure that the papers reach in time, so that we had some specific window to comply our filings to ensure that we are in time, and then shares can be listed. Permission has to be granted by the stock exchange, and then post which they will have to allow the trading of the shares in the respective stock exchanges. So that was a challenge, which used to be in two, three companies which I worked post public issues. And there was one challenge which I have faced was one of the stock exchanges had not given permission to list the shares in their stock exchange because we were delayed by a day. So then we had to go to the Securities Appellate Tribunal, which is SEBI's tribunal body above. So that is the appellate body. So we had to file our this thing. There's a way which we could do it under the Securities Contracts Regulation Act. So we were finally granted our permission. This was basically one of the stock exchanges in Delhi. Delhi Stock Exchange has not permitted to list the shares because of our delay of one day for various other reasons. So it's basically a big experience. So this is as far as the this particular aspect of the company secretarial function, and then possibly there were a lot of other issues which I have handled in terms of the litigation. On the corporate litigation, we have had very good challenging assignment. So basically, we had a issue with our joint venture, as you mentioned about joint venture. There was an issue that we had to face on a right of first refusal, that the one of the joint venture partners had gone to sell the shares in the market without asking the other joint venture partner, which is one of the right of which is there under the shareholders agreement. So that we had to undergo a long litigation of 2.5 years before the parties had settled, and it basically was settled through a high court. So these are the two things which I can identify, apart from which there have been many issues which we have had, but they are kind of, we have to undergo
Yes.
those things, and we have ultimately won over those issues. And this is what our experience is.
Absolutely, sir. So, given your background as a company secretary and the associate director, how do you approach the role of legal counsel in supporting the strategic decision making within an organization?
So basically, what you are saying is how we have to brief the council in terms of
Yes, sir.
what is the issue basically? Can I understand what basically is the intent of this behind this question? I mean, what is this?
So the intent behind this question would be that you are working as a you personally, you are a company secretary as well. So while you are briefing the legal counsel for when you are approaching to any appellate or a tribunal for your case or any legal matter for that purpose in the court of law, so what is your strategy behind any decision making and briefing your legal counsel how to approach the same?
See, basically, we have to give the background of every case has a background of what we have to basically impress upon a council as such. The point is, council has to be given the facts of every case. When we are going to give this, ultimately that is concerning a matter which has to be dealt with in a matter of a dispute or a case which we will be doing with some parties or something. So we have to give the actual background to the council for him to understand about the theme of the company, its background, its people, and that's all. But it all depends on case-to-case basis. So basically, again, it is a case-to-case basis. What is required is we have to understand and then give the best thing for as far as we are having the information in our hand, we will give that to the council. But we have to give the truth of the issues which we are having under our possession, which we have to give it to the council.
The topic of our discussion is the corporate compliance. So my next question would be that corporate compliance is such a critical aspect of business operations. How do you ensure your clients stay up to date with ever-changing regulations, and how do you assist them in implementing effective compliance programs? Because there are like every kinds of clients in the market. Some are like difficult to tackle, even given your position that you understand the regulations, you understand the compliances and the changes, the dynamic nature of our profession is given, but it is tough to tackle some clients and some people in the market. So how do you approach to that?
See, we know we basically have to play mid, what you call it as we have to ultimately get this to impress upon our client that the requirements, because in India we have so many requirements to comply with, so many laws are there which we are confronting from a company perspective, and also maybe there are certain laws which are applicable to them, because not only for the company but the people who are also representing the company, they are the so they might be having issues which they will be facing on their personal listing under some regulation, some laws which they are also party to. So basically, we as a lawyer and a company secretary of the company have to guide the company, the officials who basically are dealing with the day-to-day issues like, we have to mention about the seriousness of each law, and then we have to play basically a midpoint, so that we solve the problems for the company, but at the same time we have to overcome certain things which are definitely the companies are at times not comfortable with, but we have to impress upon them to do this. And at the same time, we will also see that how we overcome certain things which are kind of, we may not be 100%, but we will definitely ensure that we come to the compliant of the external authorities by maybe somewhere we have to jump the gun. So that is part of our function. So basically, there is a way out to each solutions, to find a solutions for each issues which come up before a company. So that is how we have to play our part of it.
Sir, in the present time, corporate law is something which is evolving very fast with the given young legal professionals. A large chunk of those who are recently passing out have a very keen interest in the developing corporate laws and specializing in particular areas like merger and acquisitions, IPRs and everything. So there are like a lot of trendy areas to focus. So what would you suggest, that what are some of the emerging challenges in the trend that is evolving right now with the increasing trend of corporate law, with the increasing popularity of corporate law? What are some of the given challenges that people not are very much familiar with, but they exist, they still exist? They are not very much known, but they exist. What are some of those challenges?
I will personally say that I know we have to basically learn from what we read. Now the point is, one is a law which is what we have to interpret correctly. So the point is not only the law, but I think we have to also understand that how practical we can today in today's world. So many things which are basically we come to know every time when we confront some issues. So basically there are certain things which one has to keep it in mind is we have to always try find out and become more practical and more practical is the right word which I would definitely would say, and try to find out some ways to solve the issues legally, but we have to be more on practical part of it. Now, challenge, definitely today the things are becoming more and more complex. Every law has got something which, because there are a lot of changes which we have undergone in the last so many years, and things are sometimes not very clear. So people have to definitely dig more and more and get into more practical. They have to become more practical rather than bookish. Rather than bookish, because the law is something which you cannot, you have to abide by a law. If law is applicable to everybody as it comes to. So, but then you have to become little more practical and see that, how you can solve any matter practically, but within the framework of the legal. So that's how. I mean, the point is, we also in our early stages of our career, we also have been kind of more. So that's why how we now see today is this continuous complex situations. Anybody can go and win something any day. If it is his day, he can do it. But the point is, we have to always be firm on our stand, be practical, and then see that we are working within the framework of the legal. That is important.
Sir, as you mentioned that more than being bookish, you should be focusing more on the practical aspects. One like question that comes to my mind to ask you is that during when you started your career, like for gaining the practical experience, it is important for a young lawyer or budding lawyer to go through the internships and attend the physical courts and everything. But what you had at your time when you were starting your career and what we have at the present time, I feel is a very two different world. So what would you what is your opinion about it? How do you categorize the change that has happened over the period of time?
No, I think now the things have become so good. The people, the current generation is definitely coming on very well compared to what we were earlier. Because I think 20 years back we didn't have, everything was in books only. There were 20 years back we just started getting a mobile, so there were no emails, no WhatsApp, nothing of that sort. So today this generation is getting much more than what we used to, because we were totally into books, and then over and above books, I think the emails when they came.
I think this generation and that's why the understandings are much higher than what we used to be earlier. And I can see that the people, the young lawyers, the aspirants, the who have already entered, they have got a very good understanding of every aspect of these laws which they read, especially with these councils. Under the councils they work, they are always very well prepared, and the way they conduct themselves is fabulous, very good. So I feel they are having a very, especially now the AI has got something which people can't believe, that what we used to struggle for days and weeks and months is now available in a seconds time. So the life is much more advanced as far as availability of the information is concerned, but the application of mind also has become more demanding, because earlier it was not as was today, because earlier people were not asking about, because now everything is available. Because now while the party which we are going to visit, our client, while he asks us to do something, he himself also immediately checks at his end that he knows if I am saying something, he immediately will Google it, which is now another mode of AI which he will go for, and he will get an instant answer. So the professionals have now to become, I mean, further, they have to upgrade themselves to ensure that, I think, more than the books, it is now the how best you can get your information system, how it is 1, 2, 3 senses. How many senses are there which you can possibly tap and get the. See, that's how that is who is going to be the first. Who is going to be the first in the queue? Who can say that no, I have got something before the another person claims it. That's why the IP is a big challenge in IA, under the IA
Yes,
thing.
sir. Yes, sir. So what is your opinion about the AI that has come, and what the challenges and the perks and the features that it brings it with itself? What is your opinion about it? Because
see, that's why this particular AI is something which I only suggests us to, get ourselves, sharpen our tools to understand things, and which are the ways which we should prioritize ourselves to, getting the informations quickly. So basically, before I sit I start doing something, I have to ensure that which are the things which we have to tap to ensure that we get the required desired results when we are participating or engaging in a discussion with a client. So apart from our preparedness, we normally go to see a client. We definitely have to be prepared ourselves to ensure that, what are the probable questions, what are the probable areas, questions and issues which we may have to confront. So we prepare ourselves apart from our normal knowledge which we are having. So then when we carry all whatever devices which we are having in our hand to give some instant answers. So it's kind of absolutely like we are going for an opinion before it's the clients are coming for an opinion to us. They are going meeting us to understand what should be the answer to their question or the issues which they have a dispute with some parties. So now I think possibly the length of this time which normally we used to take for giving the opinion will shorten further. So I mean, it's kind of people will not wait for a day. People want everything within hours, and now in minutes, that kind of a thing. At least
So which is
primacy
a
they
challenge
want.
in itself. So which is a challenge in itself.
That's
Because
why.
you
That's why.
are faster than AI.
Correct. So that means That means the AI is one person has himself to become a AI's what do you call
A human AI.
Correct. So the human brain has to, get itself very well clicked with our AI devices and all. The moment anything is required by somebody, we have to be ready for our. So it's only the click what we have to do immediately to get into something and call for. Um, Apart from the substantive part of it, it's only that what is the objective question. I mean, in terms of objective question, somebody is asking. So yes and no, and nothing positive. But as you know very well, litigation is still going to be litigation. So
Yes.
there's nobody can say that it is the matters will go on in the court. That will never be an ending process. That is a challenge.
We can say that an advocate can never be replaced with an AI.
Correct, absolutely. That particular thing is going to be remaining like what it was earlier. But now, start down. The courts have started allowing certain things which possibly over a period of time might also get. So there will be might be more faster ways of achieving results compared to past. That's what we always look at in this situation and scenario.
So coming to the last question for the professional journey rounds, what advice would you give to the aspiring lawyers to looking for specializing in corporate laws and make a meaningful impact in the corporate world?
Corporate law, though, is what I've already mentioned about, is you have to develop the skills to for the understanding each and every aspect of the laws which are basically today we are confronting. Because I think definitely today we have definitely a very good definitive systems of rules, regulations, as far as the corporates are concerned, corporate world is concerned. So people are reading the act, they have regulations and this thing. So there possibly one has to be very good at understanding the subject, and application of mind is definitely what is required for the professionals uh, to basically go for. So that basically gives you the desired results to give you to get the best out of your own, and then you're accessing this uh, this particular all these devices and also to ensure that you don't try to also for them to get dominated, but ultimately that's what I'm saying is human mind, human talent is always human, so it will not be overtaken by anybody else. um, it's only that the life is getting easier by 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 getting all this supports which you normally are getting through these devices and these AI concepts which are coming to help your cause and developing the world. I feel being an a trustful citizen, everybody has to ensure that law abidance of law is important. So they have to do their best part of what they can contribute for the world at large. That's what I would suggest.
Sir, we are done with the professional journey rounds. Next round is the professional questions round, where we try getting to know our guest a little better. So the questions are more, that's how they are oriented. So my first question would be that you hail from Kanpur. So from Kanpur to Mumbai, how your life journey has been, like how the change has been, because
Yeah, definitely. Those days, in being in Kanpur, my educational qualifications and all everything which I did in Kanpur, I was definitely hoping to uh, go places in terms of my profession. I wanted to, because obviously the scope which basically you are going to get will be the in bigger cities and always has got more corporates and all. So Bombay was the place which always has the talent and also the uh, companies which are based out here. So I have traveled from Kanpur to Calcutta and then from Calcutta to Bombay. So throughout my journey, and then I have had gone to various places also during my this. But it has been a very good experience after having graduated from and also my company secretaryship and lawyer which I have done. So it was a very good challenge for me to have reached this stage, and it's only that our dedication which we had to do ourselves to remain in the profession, uh, and then over a period of time we have gone into areas what we started, and then now we have got a lot of areas which we have covered. So that's how the experience is very
so
quite
why did you like choose legal industry, like being a lawyer, and first you were a company secretary and then you became a lawyer. So
No, because possibly in the beginning I would have opted myself to go for doing some uh, MBAs. Those days, initial when I did my graduation, possibly I had tried myself to do some MBA course to get into an MBA part of our functioning, but possibly the CA was my preference. But then CA, I initially started, but then I switched over to company secretaryship. That was my thing. So, but then company secretaryship was the entry for me to come to this profession, but it was the legal which gives you the sharpening of the the entire process, because company secretaryship was basically those days, as I'm telling you, was a challenge, because those were days when in initial stages when everything was into the physical. So the challenges were much more than today what it is basically, but because everything was in terms of physical. Now it is basically more of physical is definitely there, but it is more of now online and other things which basically we are dealing in.
yes.
So, but Legal is just basically what I feel is the most important part of the company secretarial functioning, because company secretarial is also the corporate laws, but legal is giving you more edge, which is required to sharpen your tools of understanding the laws better. And I love to practice law and also help reach out to the people to do the best what I can do, understanding a law and giving the best to the profession and also the public at large. This is the law which I now today uh, feel should be a very right kind of a which is also required for everybody to know. Even a layman also should know law. But we basically we should try to specialize something if possible and help people to do this. It is a liking which basically you are having for the profession.
So what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Legacy means it's basically that we um, we basically have become law-abiding people, law-abiding people, and also we have what we have done in our life is truly helping people who we have been associated with, the companies which we have associated with. So still we relish our work which we have done. So I think the same thing which I would tell people that if you love yourself, if you love your this thing to help public, you should help the public and the society at large. So that is all what I should be telling. Leave my legacy that way.
So my question would be that what legacy do you aspire to leave behind for your young professionals that are coming with your journey, with respect to your journey? What legacy would you like to leave behind?
I just basically have been a law-abiding person, and I have whomsoever with which I have been associated, the company or the people which I have worked with. So I would definitely tell that you should remain focused and you should help people uh, to abide law, to abide by law and uh, remain truthful to the society and the public at large, because that is the best way which we can do is by creating being a good citizen of the country, and we are abiding by the law, and also we are helping the other members and the society to understand that.
So thank you so much for giving your valuable time. It was a wonderful conversation having with you, getting to know about the profession, about you personally. It was a great experience. I personally learned a lot about what journey you have followed throughout your life, what ups and downs and everything, what the challenges has been. Me as a budding legal professional, I am very much aspired, and I'm very sure that our audience is very much keen and excited as well. Thank you so much for giving out your valuable time. We are very much obliged, and we would very much like to have you on our show again. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Jolly. I wish all the very best to you and your other
Thank you
colleagues
so
and
much.
friends who have been pursuing this profession, and to go to great heights for the future times to come. My pleasure
Thank you so
to be part of this coffee conversation. All the very best
Thank you.
and take care.